Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Jim McCallum, the president of Milliken's flooring business. Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Kemp. How are you?
I'm good. I want to talk about your retirement. Early September, around Labor Day, you're retiring from Milliken. First, let me run through your background. You've been 33 years focused in the flooring business. You've been president of Milliken's flooring division for 9.5 years. Prior to that, you were with Interface, focused primarily on their international business for about 5.5 years. You were at Mohawk because Mohawk bought Burlington's Lee's business. So you were at Burlington Lee's for 13 years and then ran Mohawk Group for 4 years after that. I guess prior to that, you were in textiles but not flooring. You were in Burlington's denim division, right?
That is correct. You've got it all down right.
And you've got a little bit of a British accent. You're from northern England originally, right?
Yeah, from Newcastle up in the northeast of England, just south of the Scottish border.
You're retiring. Milliken has hired your replacement. It's Patrick Keys, who's coming not with a flooring business background, but from a packaging industry, right?
Yeah, that's correct. He's a very impressive individual. I've had the opportunity to spend quite a bit of time with him now. He doesn't have flooring experience, but he knows what he doesn't know, and he's got a very curious mind. He's questioning me to death. It's going to be a tough last month. He's going to work me, I can assure you. But he's a super individual and seems like an inspirational leader.
And just to talk briefly about Milliken's flooring business, obviously big focus in the U.S. with mostly modular carpets. You do source some LVT, and you are well known for your Miltron printing technology. And we had you in the June issue, just in U.S. sales, a little over $200 million. And then you've got the rest of the world on top of that, right?
Yeah, we've got about 60% of our business in the U.S., 40% internationally.
Okay. As you think about the last 33 years, talk about the highlights of your career.
Wow, there have been many. It's been a great ride, fantastic industry, great people. Highlights, each individual company I've worked for has offered a lot. I've had a great progression. Thinking back when Burlington Industry went Chapter 11 way back, and Lee's was actually a jewel in the crown of Burlington. It was very successful. The textile portion of the company obviously wasn't, with the pressures that China put on the textile industry. But to hold on to the Lee sales force the way we did, we were being hit by the rest of the industry saying we were going to go under and there was no future. But that sales force believed, and it was great because we didn't lose any salespeople during that whole period. And then we came out with Mohawk buying us. And of course, we were strong. We didn't go away, and we continued to flourish under Mohawk ownership. So that was a highlight.
I thought you might mention that because that was quite a dream team. You had Jack Ganley and Ralph Grogan. I mean, can't name them all, but that was quite a talent base right back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was quite a stable. You're right. Jack went on to be a president. Ralph went on to be a CEO. There are other individuals in that team that have got great positions. Some of them not actually in flooring now, but in interiors. So that was a great team that we held together. And then moving on to my recent highlight, I guess, is the turnaround that we've managed to achieve at Milliken. When I got here back in 2014, our results were not stellar. In fact, they were very, very bad. And Milliken had been a much stronger floor covering company earlier, but had lost its way a little bit. But now we've got it in a great position. It is very profitable. It has a great growth trajectory, and it's been a great finish to my career and a great run with Milliken. And we've turned this business around significantly in the last 9 years.
I've got to mention that you brought in quite some good talent at Milliken. In design, you brought in Bob Hutchison and then Todd Vanderkrook after that.
Yep.
You brought in some folks from Shaw, and it's a really good team you built there.
Yeah, people make a difference. I'm a great believer in team, and I wanted to get the best people possible. Bob Hutchison was the first move I made because I think product is king. There's a lot of things going on in a company that makes it successful, but the product portfolio is very, very important. And I thought Bob was the right person for the job. He was incredibly experienced, and I had a good history with him. I knew what he was capable of. And Then when he retired, I wanted to go out and get the best. David Oakey notwithstanding, who is an absolute icon in this industry, but he was not obtainable. I felt Todd Van Dyke was the best. And so I did a full court press on getting into Milliken, and he has helped us to increase this trajectory of growth. Then from a sales standpoint, we brought in, one of the big hires for me was Bill Graves. As a sales manager, I think he has no peers. He's no more in the industry. He also retired about a year and a half ago. But when I brought him in, I really didn't think he had any peers. I thought he was the best in the industry, and that's what we wanted at Milliken. And he made a big difference in really making the sales force accountable, making them a real performance team.
And what about the biggest challenge in the 33 years?
I think I'd have to say COVID has been the biggest challenge. That was in a lifetime experience. I don't think anybody had experienced anything like it, and it had all kinds of impacts on the business, on the way we did business, on the demand within the business. It was an incredible challenge, and we're still recovering from it. We're not where we need to be. We're not where we were, but I don't think that's an individual observation. I think probably the whole industry would say, yep, that's the biggest challenge we've ever had to face. Of course, we did challenge at least as we went through that Chapter 11. That was a tense time for us all. But we got through that, and we're getting through COVID. So life goes on.
All right. With the COVID, you lost Antron, and that had to be a little bit of a headache as well.
We were pretty well prepared for that, actually. I think maybe some of our competitors were harder hit with that. We kind of saw the writing on the wall. As you well know, getting out of a yarn system is not easy. It takes a lot of preparation and a lot of development work to make sure that you do it right. But we've been working that play for about 3 years, Kemp, in preparation for what we thought was going to be the inevitability of Invista getting out of the fiber business. So we were in a good place, and we were able to adapt pretty well.
And so what's next for you and your wife, Avon?
Travel is going to be something we'll do together. She's an avid tennis player, and I'd like to play a lot more. So that is another thing we'll do together. And we've also discovered pickleball, the two of us, and we're playing. We'll play a lot of that together. And then, so I can get out of her hair, I intend to get my golf game back. For the last 9 years, I really haven't played golf at all. The situation has been, we kept our home in Ackworth, which is just north of Atlanta, as you know, and just south of the Dalton area. We bought a condo in Greenville. So I do kind of a weekly commute, and Yvonne spends the week down in Georgia. So when I do go back for the weekends, the last thing I really want to be doing is saying, honey, I'm going out for a 6-hour round of golf. I like to spend time with my wife during the weekend. So consequently, I really haven't been playing much golf. But it is a game that I love, and I intend to get back and try to get that handicap down again.
Okay, Jim, thanks so much for spending time with us, and wish you the best in your retirement. Again, been talking to Jim McCallum, the retiring president of Milliken's flooring business, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.